Welcome to the meetup, everybody. I'm Nia Gibson. Joined with me today is Olu Olamigoke, Johnny Pace, and the meetup is presented by Diadora. Performance first, crafted and tested at their Italy HQ. Diadora gear is built for speed, the choice of Marco Langon and Simeon Birnbaum. Guys, we have a show today. A lot happened over the weekend, and a lot is going to happen this weekend. But before we get to that, Olu, Johnny, how are we doing today?
Man, I feel great. It's freezing outside here in Austin, Texas. There's ice on my car, but we're inside. It's nice and cozy. We're going to talk about some of this heat coming up this week and even what just happened. So I'm feeling pretty good. How about you, Johnny?
Yeah, I've been bundled up here for this big Austin freeze, but excited to for all of us to go out to New York this week, just in a short 2 days. Millrose Games is shaping up. I feel like once we get to Millrose, indoor is going to be officially off and kicking for all of us. So can't wait to do it with you guys.
For sure.
I hope it's as hot as you guys are saying, because it's not going to be hot in New York. It's actually going to snow the day of Millrose, apparently. So, yeah, but the track is going to be hot. But as we talk about hot track, let's get into what happened this weekend. The New Balance Indoor Grand Prix was nothing short of amazing. We had world records, we had national records, we had personal records. But let's first talk about the men's 300. Jareem Richards came away with the win. With a time of 32.14. He won by 0.01 of a second ahead of teammate Noah Lyles. Yeah, Jareem was definitely one of them ones this weekend, and we all know how he gets down. And y'all know he was my pick to win, so I was screaming from my computer. What did you guys think when y'all saw the race?
Yeah, you did. You did call it. I mean, last week we were talking about that screenshot with Vernon and Trayvon, and you at the very end of that little segment, you're like, don't forget about Jareem Richards. And next time, I'm going to make sure to look at the full performances before we start talking this trash because, I mean, as soon as you said Dream, I'm like, well, how can you never count him out? I mean, also, anyways, we see the results of it. And yeah, you had it right. I concede defeat.
Yeah, I mean, good for him. I know Jareem didn't do a big WWE style entrance hyping up the crowd. That was our man Noah, but I'm glad Noah did it. It's a close race, and you gotta have it. You gotta have moments like that to drum up excitement, and even if it doesn't go your way that day, like still keep it fun. Good for Jareem on that one. Those are some talented fellas in that race.
Yeah, no, fun was the word. I mean, Noah and Dream were on the broadcast saying that they want to run it back, and they're training partners, so obviously it's a competitive environment by two very talented runners. And the rest of the field, though, you had Vernon Norwood, who also ran a personal best of 32.38, and Trayvon Bromell ran 35.36. So we had personal best in that race. But let's talk about some other records that was broken this weekend. Josh Hoey, he now owns the fastest indoor 800-meter ever. He ran 1:42.50. Clearly a man on a mission. This is his second world record of the season. Josh Hoey, what a man. What a guy. We were talking about how excited we were, and Johnny, you were saying how excited you were. Tell me about it.
Well, this record's been sitting for a long time, decades, and for him to come out this early in the season, Josh is such an athlete, and cool. Yeah, we have the broadcast here. This was over at BU. I mean, look at those arms
earlier. And you see it on his face. He wants it. He said he wants to go for it. And this was a race where he was actually paced by his brother. And, after this race, he said, when he didn't make Team USA for World Championships, something died inside. So this is a different fire inside of him that's been lit. Because, again, second world record of the indoor season. First the 600, now the 800, which is his
just racking them up.
Yeah, and who has that energy after running 1:12.84 in the 600? He was about to do 2 victory laps. We had to grab him off the track to get that interview.
Yeah, that was nuts. I mean, I watched that and I'm like, okay, we talked about Joshua Hoey before in a previous episode, how like you said, hey, something died in him. Well, something has resurrected because clearly, it's like when you I've said it before, like when you go through such painful losses, one thing to lose, but when you lose in such a painful way to miss out on the games, like, something, it lights up a spark and you know what it's like to be so close. So then you go to training and you move in training in ways that you don't leave the margin. So clearly for him to be able to break a world record in 6 and then come back into 8, I want to know what he's doing differently in his training because clearly he's always been a world-class talent, but he's doing that extra 2% or just checking every box and whatever he's doing in practice. That's clearly starting to show up. 2 world records don't just drop because you're coming out and doing the same thing you did last year. 2 world records drop because you're making some micro adjustments in your training that are having macro results. So I would love to get him on the show and talk about it.
Oh, we need to get him on the show. Well, we're going to see his range this weekend because at Millrose he's entered in the miles, so we'll see what he can do there. But I know we're going to see what he's going to do because we know he has the speed and turnover right now. Let's see what them lungs are going to do. But coming up after that, we have. Oh yeah, go ahead.
I just want to say something crazy. I'm looking this up. That 800 record is literally as old as you and me, Nia. This record was set 29 years ago. March 9th, 1997. So how does that feel? Can you imagine our whole time is how long that record's been there?
That's nuts.
Yeah.
And the first thing I'm thinking is Biggie, and we're about to go, wow, like this is nuts. This is nuts.
The first thing you thought about was Biggie.
Yeah, March 9th, 97.
I know, but okay. Rest in peace. Rest in peace, Big. Yeah, rest in peace. Yeah. New York City legend right there. Okay, let's stay on the topic of world records real quick. Hobbs Kessler also broke a world record in the 2000. He ran 4:48.79. Yo, the track was hot. Clearly not only BU has the fast track, so does the track at the New Balance Center. Y'all, what do we see here?
It's that mullet magic there. I mean, Hobbs is sporting that new mullet. I guarantee that had everything to do with it. This was actually crazy though, because unlike the record of the 800 that stood for 29 years, this one stood for 24 hours. Our man Cole Hawker broke this down in Blacksburg Friday night. And yeah, it didn't last long. Mr. Kessler snatched it from him. But I think this is interesting because I think Grant Fisher was saying that, and we'll get to this later, but for this upcoming 2 mile at Millrose, like a 2K, like a world record or, record's got to go down in this 2K event. And that's exactly what we've seen twice in like 24 hours. Unbelievable work. Sorry for Cole though. I mean, he's have to go and get another record to take it back. But 24 hours with that record before Hobbs snatched it up.
That's the beautiful thing about indoor season, in my opinion. Like you have these odd events that come about that really test like maybe your speed endurance or just test like that in between marker, and then these records will drop, but they won't last. We've seen it happen last year with Yard Nagoose in the indoor mile. It didn't last long. So I think that's what's so nice about indoor season. Honestly speaking, it keeps you on your toes.
Yeah, for sure.
But as we stay up like in the distance, Dorcas Iwobi, she now has the world lead for the indoor 1500, 14:01.22. And yeah, I mean, again, the track was hot, world lead, personal best. But something to mention, right on her toes, Sinclair Johnson also recorded a personal best and is now the 4th fastest American in the event. This was her Hoka debut, and she ran 4:01.30. What a race!
She's a Hoka girly now.
She is a Hoka girly. She's a Hoka girly. And I had a chance to talk to her last week, and she was saying, this is going to be special, and Hoka's really making it a mission for them to focus on making like American middle distance really relevant on the world-class stage, especially for women.
Yeah. It's nice to see brands put their money where their mouth is. Sinclair had a show-stopping year last year, so if you're actually one of the fastest Americans of all time in any event, I think it's cool to see her kind of keep chipping away at it as we come into this new year. Indoor season this year is already looking like it's going to be I mean, we've been saying one for the record books, so not to sound like a broken record, but like I always love when an indoor season kicks off like it's crazy, because that then gives me the ideas that something's going to happen, go down in outdoor season, particularly when we're in a quote unquote off year like we are right now. Not to get too far off the topic of indoor, but I'm saying if indoor is going this crazy right now, we're in January. Obviously, indoor only lasts for a couple more weeks. I mean, what can we expect in the outdoor season, especially from Sinclair and Dorcas?
Man, records,
What do
and
you
not
guys
just personal records.
Yeah.
What do you guys think? Like, do you think athletes have changed their approach this year? Because we do have a World Indoor Championships in Poland in March. Do you think they're maybe reshuffling their builds to prime themselves for like being ready for that timeline?
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Especially after last year. Because you remember a lot of athletes did not run worlds because they were preparing for like Grand Slam, and like the way that kind of changed up their season. So I think a lot of people, especially in this off year, they're prioritizing making a world team, because whether it's indoor or outdoor, it's still a great feat. But on that same note, Marco Langon, our very own Theodora Bro, he also ran personal best in the 3000, 7:34.56, NCAA number 4 all time. Cameron Myers would ultimately win that race with 7:27.57. But let's hear what Marco had to say after the race.
Did you learn anything today from being out there with pro fields?
Everyone out here is cracked, so everyone here is really good. These are people that I would have dreamed to be like stepping head to head against. Like Graham, he graduated last year, but I would have been dying to be able to get a shot to beat him, and I had my shot today and didn't do it. So at the end of the day, it's hard. It's hard jumping up. Like I'm one of the top collegiates, but going now into a pro field where everybody would be a top collegiate, it's different, but it's such an experience and a blessing, so I'm really happy.
There's so many things existing at once in that clip. You know what I'm saying? It's like he's very thankful to have been in that field, but it's still like it's giving, like, you know, when Kobe was in that interview, he said the job's not done. That's what I was feeling from that. Yeah, the job's not finished. Like it feels like, okay, got this personal best. This was cool, but I want to win. I really want to win, and it's nice that I was in this field. I'm racing against people I've dreamed of racing against, but there's still more on the table. There's still more in the tank.
Yeah. Go ahead, John.
I feel like anybody that's I don't know. I kind of love that Marco's not he's interesting. He's an interesting guy to watch and to listen, and I think that's why people love his hearing from him. But what I hear there is a lot of humility with that intensity to win, and obviously he's locked in on March. But I enjoyed hearing him say that. I was also seeing his singlet. I don't know if he took a fall. That thing was like all spiked up. I don't know if you guys caught that one, but
yeah. But you know, you ever notice like after Marco's races, he's always looking like he just came out of war, whether it's like his legs are bloody from getting spiked or whatever it may be. Like I like, and you see it in his intensity and how he talks after a race as well. Because to your point, John, I think people like him so much because he's raw. You know, like he's just raw. He's himself. He's authentic, and he's gonna say what he's feeling every single time. He's not like, you know, people are like wildly media trained. He just says it, and I love it.
Yeah, in this button-up sport we call track and field, I think it's always, we say this all the time. Anytime you have a personality that comes out and is authentically themselves, it's always refreshing, because this is a sport where people are very polite. And not to say you got to be rude, but at the same time, I don't think you need to front and be something you're not to try to act like you are, you know, more of a kind individual. And maybe kindness is not the word, but I think people try to perform, to your point, as like in a very media trained way. And I mean, we saw what happened when Bolt came out and started changing that, and obviously people before him as well, then Noah. But I also see Marco as being like, I feel like this is just an offshoot of this like multiverse of track and field personalities, where we're not getting what we're so used to, and it makes the sport so much more refreshing to watch. I mean, Theodora got themselves one with Marco, just in terms of the fact that like he's got a certain energy about him that makes people want to pay attention.
I couldn't agree more. They definitely got a good one with him. Yeah, 100%. But yeah, like we were saying, this New Balance was a meet. We had a ton of world leads, including Danielle Williams in the 60 meters hurdles, 7:87. Elle St. Pierre in the women's 3K 8:26.54. Roisin Willis in the 800, 1:59.59. And Trey Cunningham also equaled the world lead in the men's 60-meter hurdle with 7:48. Some other notable performance that we should definitely keep in mind: Dina Asher-Smith won the 60 meters in 7:08. She took the win. Akeem Blake also took the win the 60 meters in his on debut, 6:53. And Caleb McRae ended up winning the 400, 45:38. Quincy Wilson close second, 45:96. Okay, guys, let's talk college. NCAA. Hey man, like what a year it is for the NCAA, I swear. We had some really big moments and really big dogs. And when we talk about dogs, the UGA Bulldogs continue their dominance. Maurice Clayton ran 6:55 in the 60. He did look he was holding on to his leg, so we do hope he's well. But another performance that we want to talk about, CD and Jay in the 400. I want you guys to take a look at the finishing portions of this race in New Mexico.
All CD and Jay through this first lap and a half, and it's going to be him wire to wire.
He's gliding. Good Lord.
Nice run from the Georgia Bulldog.
Wow.
45:40. And I want to note it was only him and one other person in that heat. So it was just like kind of a glorified time trial in a sense. What can he run when he has somebody on his heel? Like I'd love to see him in a race with like an Ahmad Robinson or something like that, who's like a dog versus a dog, maybe a literal dog, you know?
Let's also add, and I'm very familiar. I spent all last week at that track. That Albuquerque track is higher than Denver. I know that affects the distance. I'm not positive about sprints, but he's doing that at nearly a mile of altitude too.
Yeah, that's nuts. He said,
good point, Johnny.
Bro. Wow. Like,
that's in nuts. Air.
I mean, but that's a thin air.
I mean, yeah, man. I mean, but it seems it's not doing too much to the athletes because they're running. The track is hot nonetheless, which always is kind of like, how do you do this from, like, because again, to your point, Johnny, to switch from non-altitude to altitude like that is a little hard or a lot of hard. But on the same tip, sorry, say it again.
I said, I'll say that's for sure.
What's the longest run you've done in New Mexico?
Ooh, like 8, but I'm like gasping for air up there. A lot of great running. I mean, Albuquerque slept on Training Town, but yeah, you're going to be working a little bit for it. That's for sure.
All right.
But it's no wonder. I mean, that's where our boy Josh Kerr and the Brooks Beast train, and I think we're seeing more and more distance runners doing training camps up there.
I mean, it makes it
kind of a sleeper.
It's obviously yielding results. It's yielding results, and I hope everyone wakes up because, yeah, it's thin up there. But on the same tip, UCLA's Yanla Jip Nyamek, she ran 7:96 in the 60 hurdles. And in that same race was UGA freshman Maddie Cooper. She came second, running 7:99, also a freshman. And here is the race. She's gliding over those hurdles. And look at Maddie on her heels.
All the way to the finish line with a sub-8-second performance.
Yeah. She's like that, and she knows it. She knows it was a race.
Yeah. She was sliding. Mm-hmm. She was sliding. And
she was sliding.
Yeesh.
Look at Maddie in the back.
Jip Nyamek of UCLA.
Yeah,
she was sliding. She was sliding. That's what happens when you come in with that international pedigree in your background. She runs for Belgium, and she has international experience under her belt. And you know, when you've competed internationally, it gives you this sense of like, all right. Now, I mean, I didn't compete internationally when I was in college, but still, even if you go compete for countries and you come back to school, it's like, let me just check this box right quick. Let me just execute. And clearly, we talked about how people are getting you ready for Worlds, like maybe they weren't getting ready for Worlds last year. It's really cool to see how, you know, even in the sprint hurdles, man, she was sliding. And I really have a feeling that, like, again, I think we're getting really geeked about all these performances in January. Look, I'm going to say it again, like, just give it a couple weeks, because obviously we have indoor worlds, but give it a couple months. Let's see what these athletes do outdoors. I think she's going to be one of the ones we're saying sliding outdoors too.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. But let's go to Millrose, guys. We're all going to be there up front and center in person in New York City at the Armory. I am so excited. And one of the events that I am the most excited for is the coveted Wanamaker Mile. Yard Nugus, he is trying to go for his 4th straight Wanamaker Mile victory. Last year, he ran 3:46.63, where for a week, he held the world record in the event. Guys, how excited are we for this?
Oh boy, this about to be good.
It's gonna be
This
good.
about to
If
be
you
good.
ever heard loud, like for whoever's not been to the Armory for the Millrose Games, but particularly for the Wanamaker Mile, it is deafening in there. It is, the energy is so. This is what we love about indoor track and field. It's like it's the most raucous place you can watch a track and field meet. And the Armory is so loud, like. It might be one of the situations they talk about fastest track in the world here, fastest track in the world there. Armory might be the loudest track in the world, especially during the Wanamaker Mile. Everybody's tuned in, everybody's tapped in. It doesn't matter what event you like to watch. Like you just simply don't miss it. Yard going for his 4th. Yard is a beloved figure inside the doors of the Armory. So I can't wait personally. I'm geeked for it. I was right up close last year when we saw it. I mean, there are other really cool performances that we're going to even go down the list in a minute. But yeah, this Wanamaker Mile is about to be something.
To me, this is like one of the greatest indoor track meets. To me, it is indoor track. Like I'm definitely biased, and I think maybe we all are a little bit with our roots to New York. But like, just the few, I feel like few indoor events are held with this sort of prestige, and then particularly the Wanamaker Mile. And I do think the 2 miles stealing a bit of shine, but nonetheless, I mean, I just got to call out some of the people. It's like Yard, 4 years, Hobbs Kessler, we just talked about him, just set a record. Cam Myers on a hot streak. Ollie Hoare, let's not forget, won this thing in 2022. Gary Martin from UVA. I mean, it's just the list goes on and on. Josh Hoey, like, I might as well just read the rest of this list. Robert Farkin, Festus Sagat, Andrew Kosker, and Nico Young. Like, this could be anybody's race. But Yard clearly knows how to win this thing if he's looking to get number 4.
I mean, look, you have a really good point. You brought up Hobbs Kessler. Last year, Hobbs actually ran under the previous world record as well. So if Yard wasn't in that race, that would have been Hobbs's record for a week. And now he's back with this mullet, has already set a world record. Like, this is going to be even crazier than last year. Look, I'm just going to say, I'm not saying who's going to win the race, but if we see another, and I don't know, maybe the form that these athletes are in, but clearly, the form Hobbs is in. I think Yard's been a little bit, Yard might be opening up this year. Don't quote me on that. But the point that I'm making is, don't be surprised if we see the mile world record getting under threat again this year.
Ooh, no, I like that. Maybe you're not putting your pick in, but I'm putting my pick in. I'm going for the Goose. He knows this track. This is his race, and I think he has like a bit of a fire underneath his butt to get that 4th straight. Like, he works pretty well under pressure from what I've seen.
Yeah.
I don't think we've seen him yet this season, right? Did I miss anything?
I don't believe so. I'll double check. Yeah. But yeah, I still think he'll win.
Yeah,
I think he's gonna win, guys. Let's go back up. The men's 2 mile. Last year, it's going to be Grant Fisher versus Cole Hawker. Last year, it was down to the wire where Grant Fisher won and secured the world record. This year, it will be a rematch, but Josh Kerr will also be present to make this interesting, y'all. So what do we think?
If I may, I mean, to me, this is the race of the season. Again, biased, but like, this is going to be the one to tune in for. The fact, like, I don't even know where to begin on this, but like, if you remember 2 years ago, Josh Kerr set the world record at this very meet, at this very event, in stunning fashion, and he was added fairly recently. But we're talking about Grant Fisher and Cole Hawker as well. Like, these are titans of distance running globally. These are all, we talk about people that know how to win. These are all tried and true champions and winners. And if I may, I mean, I'm just going to talk about some of these accolades. Grant Fisher's holding the 3K and 5K world record. Cole Hawker, the 5K world champion and Olympic gold medalist. Let's not forget. George Beamish is also in there as well. Like, he's also a world champion from Tokyo in the steeple. I mean, I'm like kind of at a loss here at the caliber of this field.
And I mean, this was
that's what Millrose does, man. Okay, so I was waiting for this moment because I know we were just talking about the Wanamaker Mile, but because obviously Wanamaker Mile, loud, it is all the things we said it is. Last year, the 2 mile, when Grant narrowly beat Cole. I've never. And hear me out when I say this. If you were at the Armory that day, you can corroborate what I'm about to say. I feel like the 2 mile might have been louder than the Wanamaker. The building with the atmosphere was so loud. Like there are people outside, and people know who walk down on. We've all been to New York City. We've all been to the Armory. People who walking around 168. They always know that the Armory has track meets. They're always expecting noise to come out of that building. But there were people thinking something was wrong on the street, on the block, was how loud it was last year when Grant just narrowly beat Cole. And Cole came out of that. He was hurt. I remember Cole watching him in the mix zone. He was actually tearing up because he was like, yo, I mean, we know what type of athlete Grant is, but I also wanted to show my range, and it hurt to lose in the fashion that he lost. So Cole's coming back in with this chip on his shoulder. Grant is Grant Fisher. And then you're just going to throw in that X factor of Josh Kerr. Yo, I agree with you, Johnny. This is Wanamaker Mile is always going to be the event to watch. But if you for whatever reason have to leave the Armory early because you have to miss the Wanamaker Mile,
cancel your plans.
Watch this 2 mile.
Cancel your plans.
Do not miss the 2 mile. Okay.
Cancel your plans, guys.
If you're trying to come late, make sure you get there early for the 2 mile. You don't want to miss it.
Yeah, and don't leave early. If you got something to do after, tell your homegirl, tell your homeboy, tell your man, tell your girl, listen, wait. Just wait.
Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend to hold up.
Yeah. And, as we talk about like this, all this was going on, you talk about the type of athlete Cole is when he has a chip on his shoulder. We see what happens when he has a chip on his shoulder. Case in point, these past world championships. You see Grant Fisher when he goes into that dark place. Hello, he had like 2 world records within a 7-day span. He broke the 3K world record, then he went and broke the 5,000 meter indoor world record last season. Like it was one of them ones. He's one of them ones. So I'm gonna ask you guys, no context, no rhyme or reason. Who's your pick to win this? Go, Johnny.
I'm going Josh.
Okay, Olu.
Ooh, can I be spicy? I'm gonna say Cole. Now, the only reason why I'm saying Cole is because I actually wanted to pick Grant, but I remember how Cole
no context. Nope.
Nah, no context. Okay.
Nope. Pick your pick and stand on it.
Me, bro. I'm gonna stand on it. I'm gonna be controversial. I'm gonna go against what my gut is saying because I just remember seeing it. That's my context.
Period. I'm going to jump on your ship too. I actually do have Cole winning this as well. So we'll see how these age next week. Moving along, we got the men's 600. Cooper Luckenhouse is highlighting that. And as we speak about him, he ran his pro debut last week in the 800, clocking 1:45.23, and it was actually a new U20 American record. What y'all think Cooper's going to do this weekend?
Be dangerous as usual. He's a kid having fun with it, man. And I know a lot of people had a lot of expectations on him last year for Worlds after seeing, obviously ran 142, but keep in mind he was in high school. He'd been competing for 10 months at that point. I think fresh legs, fresh season. This kid, he's such a respectful young man who just is enjoying the process of it. Look, under 20 world records are just going to kind of keep falling with every event he steps in. That's what I say.
All right.
Yeah. He, clearly knows this Armory track well. It's where he set this record last week. I'm curious if he's doing this flight from Texas and back each week or if he's staying out there. I wonder.
I would stay if I'm his coach. I would stay.
Yeah.
Because
he's nice and acclimated.
Yeah. Just trying to be on a plane 4 different times in the span of a week. Because it's also it's not the longest flight in the world, but ain't the shortest either.
No, it's not. I don't know about y'all, but I'm flying direct. And if I'm flying direct and it's over 2.5, 3 hours, send me overseas. We got to go 4 hours just to get to New York, man. This is crazy.
Yeah.
But I'm also spoiled for being born on the East Coast.
Yeah, I'm like, what? All right, let's go ahead and tell FloTrack.
Yeah, I was born on the East Coast. I'm used to being in DC, flying to New York, or driving to New York, flying to Atlanta where I was. Each one of these is an hour and a half. So 2.5 hour flight. If I'm not going to the West Coast, take me overseas. Take me to Europe, man. So just a lot of time on a plane just to go to NYC.
I think we should all put that in our contracts. If we have to fly over 3 hours, then we just have to go to Europe. Okay, I think we can lock that in. Johnny, Olu, good idea?
Stamp.
I'm in.
I'll have our people talk to their people. But Quincy Wilson, we talked from one youngster to the next. Quincy Wilson will be in the 400. I am not expecting anything less from fireworks from him. He's been racing amazingly all season. As we mentioned earlier last weekend at the New Balance Indoor Grand Prix, he came second to Caleb McRae, running 45 high. I mean, I feel like I can guess what you guys are going to think he's going to do, but go ahead.
Look, I like watching Quincy run. I like watching Quincy run because Quincy is not afraid to step on the line. Nia, you made a point before, you want to see high schoolers race high schoolers. Quincy is not afraid to step on the line. This man, he runs, he uses indoor season for what it's meant to be. You use indoor season to race yourself into shape, right? Well, this man's already in shape, and he's just came off of, I mean, obviously the New Balance last week, but the week before, just shy of the 500 meter record, high school record for that age, right? National record, right? Thank you for helping me clear that up. So he's been running 60s this year. He's gone up to the 500. He's coming down to his baby, the 4. Look, I'm not even going to say it. It's just going to be fireworks. It's going to be lit. It's going to be crazy to see what he does. That's all. I'm going to leave it at that.
It's like the Mariah Carey, it's time. I think it's time. Go ahead, Johnny.
You hit those notes, Nia.
You know, I'll be trying. I'm trying to be like you. I know you'll be singing, Johnny.
Yeah, I do. I've been just saying that.
We got the keyboard. Let's step the band. Let's go. Let's go crazy.
That's right. You know, Quincy's just so fun. I think this is kind of like, we're just lucky to get to witness this, like a generational high school talent in his final high school season. Like, to me, it's just how much damage can you do? How much legacy can you leave beyond what you've already done? I'm excited to finally get to see him after these last couple of weeks that he's been racing Virginia Beach, racing Boston, just to experience, like, he's one of those types of athletes that is fun to watch and witness the effect, because it's like, basically it's like the effect that they have on the crowd and the fans is cool. You don't get that all the time. And somebody like Quincy, you do. And so just to experience that as a fan is really going to be exciting.
Yeah. I just want to put one more point in there. One last point about Quincy that I feel like we need to talk about. We talk about his athletic performances till we're blue in the face, rightfully so. But this kid is a student athlete. And I'm not going to sit here and glorify school and get on my high horses of whether you should take school seriously or not. He could have gone pro last year, and he still decided to finish his schooling out and go to University of Maryland. Like, I think he serves as an example why, and I'm this people going to take this how they take it, but why, even as the greatest athletes of one of the greatest athletes of his generation, potentially of all time, to take your actual off the track life very seriously. Because no matter what Quincy Wilson does, he's only going to be elevated by the fact that he's decided to go to school and pursue his degree. He's only going to be elevated by the fact that he has a whole persona that has nothing to do with track and field. So go to big ups to Quincy, big up to Coach Joe Lee, big up to Quincy's parents, because they're setting the tone in a way on the track and off of it as well.
And Amen. I have a feeling that this time next year you'll be saying that and more, because I do think he'll be instrumental in turning around Maryland's program. So we'll 100% see what will be happening from there. But before we end off our Millrose talk, we have another head-to-head rivalry matchup coming up. Jane Hedegren and Doris Lemangole will go head-to-head in the women's 3,000. The last time they faced off was NCAA cross-country championships, where Doris Lemangole came out on top with a new national record. Guys, we know what both of these women are capable of doing. They both have records under their belt. Jane is, the freshman phenom, and Doris is the one with all the experience in the world, and sometimes that does trump talent. What do we think is going to happen in this 3K besides the armory flipping upside down?
They love Jane in the armory, let me tell you, man. She was that last year at Nike Indoor, she was just setting record after record, and every single time it got louder and louder in that building. And she also knows how to run in that armory. Doris, as you said, experience matters. I don't know, man. I really don't know which one to pick. I think it's going to be yet another show of fireworks, just to say the same thing we've been saying all the time. But I honestly think I would say Jane might be, and hear me out, might be the slight underdog here, just because of the experiences that, Doris has beaten her a couple times this year, and Doris is also coming off of some records in the past few weeks. But I mean, I could be wrong. I could be eating those words by next week.
She's also got that Bowerman under the belt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't forget about that.
That Bowerman
You don't
boost.
get that for no reason. You don't get that for no reason.
I mean, this is good old fashioned racing. These are like two powerhouses. Like, the more of these types of matchups we get, the better. This is what makes it fun. Like, it doesn't matter really who wins. I know that they're gonna fight it out. Give us a good race, without a doubt. Also with the Armory, you got to keep in mind, like, it's not a cross country race where it's straight ahead out wide open fields. There is an element that positioning and when you make your move comes into like how the race unfolds. It's a lot more tactical than just even an outdoor track, because on these things you got to take the turn, and like if you're running wide or you miss time your move, that could cost you the race. And so there's kind of this X factor that could go anywhere. Certainly having the experience on indoor tracks helps when to make time, those sorts of things, but stuff happens. You miss a move or you miss a position, and maybe keep an eye out for that. Maybe something doesn't go perfectly according to plan, and then that's who wins.
Actually, I have a question about that. Like, so Jane Jane tends to run in a very commanding fashion, and she runs commanding in the Armory. So how do you think that's going to play out with her indoors?
Well, I mean, you raise a good point. Like having that experience on that specific venue and knowing the feel of the track, like she could very well try to take command of the race in a way that maybe we haven't seen. And I predict, like I said, it's hard to say, but if that's a track that she's very comfortable with and knows how to win on, that could be it for her. So it's gonna be a good race.
Oh, no, for sure. Also want to correct myself. I said national record. Doris has the collegiate record in at cross country nationals. But yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens, because we all know Jane in high school, it was never really her versus anybody. It was always her versus the clock. But then, to everyone's point, you have to know how to run indoor. And when we spoke to Nick Enough during cross country season, that's Doris's coach, he was saying, with the rivalry, he loves it. He thinks it's great for the sport. It's great for women's track and field. Everyone loves a story. Everyone loves a rivalry, and that brings eyes to the sport. So I think it's nothing but good vibes, and I think it's just like a good old fashioned rivalry that we needed, especially on the collegiate scene on the women's side. But yeah, guys, Millrose is going to be a movie, and we'll see what happens. Let's see how these takes. I really hope they age like fine wine, because sometimes y'all, our takes be aging like old cheese, spoiled milk. Like, it stinks, but it's fine. It's fine.
That's why y'all love us here on the meetup, because we don't take ourselves too seriously. I think that's part of the charm.
No, for sure. But I will say again, my take about Dream Richards in that 300 age, like fine wine, baby. So yeah. All hail Nia. But before we end off the show, let's talk about what's hot. Guys, Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone announced that she is having a baby. Oh my gosh, congrats are in order for the world record holder. And I mean, I feel like the timing couldn't have been any more perfect, guys.
Yeah.
No, I don't know.
Congrats.
She planned this thing perfect. I mean, you think about the broader landscape, like think about it, like what it takes to this is probably something that a lot of athletes and women in sport have to face, right? It's like, when can you carve out a year plus to focus on building your family? And like your prime family raising years are also oftentimes timing up with like your prime athletic years. That's a very difficult thing. And there's, especially the last 5 years, there's always something. There's always a world championship. There's always an Olympics. How can you determine when to sit it out? And this window has opened up where we don't have an outdoor world championships or Olympics. That she really has a nice window here to add one to the roster.
100%. I think to your point, they timed it perfectly. Look back a few years ago when she was mentioning how she and her coach were timing out how she was going to transition from the 400 to the 400 flat. We saw what happened there. One thing I really respect is how Sydney and also her husband, they keep things very private and close to the chest, because not all of this is not our business. But I've said this before. I said this off the show. We know what happens when women, all-time great female athletes in track and field, have children and then come back to the sport. You look at Gail Devers, you look at Ellie St. Pierre. Sydney's already done all these things. Of course she had, what's next? Have a baby. That's the next championship for her to win, so to speak. I mean, she's already done everything she's got to do. But I would love to see how, physically this is going to level her up for 2028. Don't forget that it's weird. It's some biological thing that I'm not going to put my tinfoil hat and act like I know all these things. But I know that a lot of times women will come back from having children in this sport of track and field and just blow up and go crazier. So I'm really, really excited to see what happens in 2028. But before we even get there, congratulations to Sydney. Congratulations to Andre. You guys have another addition to the family, and that's what's most important right now.
Yeah, big congrats. And you guys mentioned really good points. I'm so excited to see when she comes back, because we know how the mommies do it in this sport. Faith Kipyegon came back breaking world records, winning more world championships, winning more Olympic championships. And same with Shelly Ann Fraser-Price, who literally said she went from pocket rocket to mommy rocket. So I'm so excited to see this version of Sydney coming out, because I'll say it from now, I think we got a new world record loading when she comes back, because when I spoke to her, the last time I interviewed her, she said that, when she runs, it has to mean something, and it has to have something with the purpose. And obviously I'm not going to put words in her mouth, but I definitely think that, purpose will be there a lot, especially as she enters this new phase of motherhood. So 100%. Congratulations, Sydney McLaughlin-Ravoni. If she shares the baby pictures, I can't wait to see them.
Shut down the internet, man.
I know. But guys, we mentioned earlier this week and last week that Trayvon Bromell ran the 300. After his race, he put on his story that he is cooked. Back to the 60 he goes. Hey man, it's nothing wrong with running a little over distance, getting the lungs going, but we'll see what he does in the 60, where he's like, that's his bread and butter for indoor season.
Hey man, I'm gonna leave that one alone because I got that call all types of wrong. Let's go to the next one.
Oh my God.
I love again, going back, I love when we don't take ourselves too seriously in this sport, man. Yeah, he got cooked. It's okay. Like, it happens. It happens. Clearly there was banter between them all. And yeah, it takes a strong man to say that. Look himself in the mirror, put it on Instagram and say that.
It's not even his event for real. So that's why it's kind of like, all right.
Yeah, I hear that. But for me, being the athlete that I am, if I toe the line or I step on the runway, I'm trying to win regardless of what event it is, even if it's not my event. So I can see where he might be coming from.
Okay, fair enough. I love it. But Ola, I know you had like a little bit of something that you wanted to mention before we end off here.
Yeah, because we're always going to give love to the field events here. Yevens Milo, I'm hoping I'm pronouncing his name correctly. This young man, he's like 17 years old, senior in high school, came out and jumped the new indoor triple jump national record of 16.09 meters, which is 52 feet 9 inches. And I did a little bit of research when I saw this. I was like, wait, hold up. We've been talking about Mia Maxwell being just off the national record, and we were paying so much attention to that, which we still are. I'm still going to be doing that. But this young man, I went and did a little digging on his Instagram. I mean, he is at 16 years old. He was benching 310 pounds, quarter squatting 400 plus. Like, he is clearly figuring something out. He's jumped over 2 feet further from his PR at the end of outdoor last year. And so I want to actually wrap this up by saying, we were talking about trackflation. We're talking about the Millrose Games. We're talking about yard. We're talking about all these athletes putting these world records up all across the board, up and down these distances. But again, I say it like I scream it from the mountaintops every week. Start paying attention to these field events, even from high school right now, because we have generational talents that are brewing and they are going to be showing out. Actually, they already are showing out. Trackflation is also a fieldflation in a way. There are multiple athletes who are putting up PRs by feet at a time in this moment, and they're putting up top 5 marks all time. This is not just a one-off thing. So pay attention to the field events. Congratulations to Yevon on the new national record, and I will be paying attention.
All right, and we all will. Thank you, Olu. But guys, that is the show. I will be seeing you guys in New York live in Millrose. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a movie. You guys make sure you follow us, like, comment, share, tell us what you love, tell us what you don't love, and we will see y'all next time.